move on here to the San Francisco 49ers. Angel, this was your team, and go get a start there with a big extension to start off.
Yeah, they're interesting because obviously they're getting rid of everyone who's old or hurt. So that because they're kind of in a new. You said it yesterday. We were talking about it, and you said that we're in the era of Brock. It's Brock Purdy's team now. It's no longer Deebo Samuel's, Christian McCaffrey. It's Brock Purdy's team.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do automatically, you send Brock Purdy immediately because that number is not going to get cheaper. Do it right now. Maybe you sign him for maybe between 50 and 54. I think 55 is Tua and 50 is Goff's, right in between there somewhere. Extend them immediately because that's your future, and you have it settled for the next 5 to 10 years. So you have that. And then another guy. So that my second.
We got to talk about Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Real quick, Brock Purdy or Geno Smith?
All things equal, I'll take Geno.
Listen.
Maybe he's the homer.
No, listen. I've never been a big Purdy guy. I've never been a Purdy.
He hates Purdy.
I always thought he was just an average quarterback who just happened to be in a system where it makes you better than what you are.
I think that's what we saw in when all of his guys got hurt.
Like you
year,
said
right?
for Minnesota, how they all make quarterbacks better.
Yeah.
Like, same thing with Shanahan. He had a couple guys play. He had Josh Dawes playing well there for like 4 or 5 games. Purdy just fits the system, and if he's young enough, and it fits, if Shanahan likes him, and they're winning, then why not? But I'm not big on this. But what else are you gonna go to? You found a dime in the rough, Mr. Irrelevant, has been to Super Bowls, lost, right? Yeah. But
he balled in that Super Bowl too.
I'm not a Purdy guy, but you have to do it because you can't let talent walk out the door. And you're doing all these. You're cutting Debo. You're cutting Greenlaw. All these guys for this guy. So you have to just by necessity. Now you can't just cut those guys and not extend Purdy. So this is what you have to. You've chosen this path. What I would do, there's a lot of guys out there. I'll go a little shop a little bit.
For those 3 guys I mentioned,
I would do the Kirk Cousins thing where I would tag him for 2 years. Just tag.
That's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. You have Kirk Cousins come?
No. It did what Washington did with,
you let him play it out.
with Kirk for 2 years. They tagged him twice and twice.
Purdy?
I don't.
So in 2 years, the number's going to be astronomical.
Yeah, but in this scenario, I'm extending them because of that reason. The money's going to be freaking.
This is interesting to talk
$60
Brock
million.
Purdy on a show with a Seahawks fan and a known Purdy hater. Purdy, listen, the system quarterback thing needs to stop.
No, he's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
he's a good quarterback for them.
And
He
even
was
though
awesome.
he lost his weapons, like, okay, well, let's take C.J. Stroud then. He lost his weapon.
What a random guy to pick.
I'm saying. No, because that's a comparison guy. That's the two guys
yeah.
that we've been comparing for the last year.
Yeah.
He lost his weapons,
Yeah.
and he wasn't very good. No one's like, well, he must have been a system quarterback. You can't do it without his weapons. No quarterback can do it with crappy weapons and a bad offensive line.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Take away his strengths and see how good he is. Like
Exactly.
that's a ridiculous argument, right?
Exactly.
But Purdy, out of those 3 guys I mentioned,
You're
earlier,
wrong, Angel.
No.
Like
go ahead.
was Dak, Tua, and T-Law with what they've accomplished in the NFL
Oh boy.
combined with
If you say Geno Smith, swear to
combined
God.
with the team fit, I would take Purdy over those guys.
Okay, but not over Geno.
I would
You would
I'm a
take
homer.
Geno Smith over Brock Purdy.
I would just because I'm a homer. Right? I love Geno.
Oh yeah.
But
You're wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll-
It's gonna be wrong sometimes.
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
No, so yeah, that's the first one I would do is extend Purdy just because the money's gonna be like $60 million if you wait one more year.
What did we have projected as? So much money.
So much money.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of money. The second guy is safety Tua Hufanga.
Talanoa.
Talanoa. I said Tua.
You can't just call the Islanders the same first name.
Tua's
might be
little
racist.
brother.
It's a little racist.
Tua's little brother. He's 25 years old. Back-to-back years of big injury. Last year he played with a big old fucking
The club.
The
the club. He's 25. I'm not in the business of letting young good players go. I think sign him to a one year deal. Let him prove it. Let him see if he has one more year in him. I'm not. He's 20. He's gonna get such a good offer from a good team because he's a young, talented player who had a bad year because of injury, not because of talent. So I'm giving him one more year. I'm gonna let it. You're letting go of so much good talent. Don't let the young talent go. I understand Greenlaw. I understand Hargraves. I understand Debo because they're older. I'm keeping the 25-year-old guy who's shown that he can be a star safety. So
I think they're going to let go of Hufanga because of young talent already in the building, Mustafa.
Mustafa. I was just about to say.
Yeah, I think
Mustafa was
let
nice
go.
last year.
And they're just the whole secondary is getting turned over. Travarius Ward's going to go. Hufanga's going to go.
I
get it. I get what you're saying, but
I just keep talent on the field. Like, I understand there's a safety there, but teams always play three safety. Maybe one becomes a nickel corner.
come to think of it, you're making this secondary, old as hell again. Who's your quarterback?
No. Secondly, okay, Stephon Gilmore, because they're losing Ward, and it's a cheap option. So you can't because they're losing 3.
Will Stephon Gilmore be a cheap option?
They're losing 3 cornerbacks.
Yeah.
So this is last year you signed late too. Gilmore signed late, right well into the.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so you gave her super late. Obviously, he still has some juice left, and you don't completely start at 0 from cornerback, so you could draft the cornerback in the second round and have Gilmore. So yeah, that's what he's kind of just a placeholder. And then my fourth one here is trade for tight end Michael Mayer, just because his talent. Because you're losing Debo. The Ayuk trade rumors are now roaring again.
Every team should be calling about Mayer.
So and now when you pay a quarterback, you look for cheap labor. Michael Mayer, second round pick, is cheap labor. We don't know if he's talented or is as talented or not. He's 23, 24 years old. Second round pick. I think it's a nice guy to have. Maybe he's the eventual replacement for Kittle, but Shanahan, Shanahan. He's a creative guy, creative offensive playbook. Put Michael Mayer and see what you can do. I mean, it's not a bad move, right? Just take a chance on a guy who.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's a young, talented guy. I'm not.
He was a second round pick for a reason.
Yeah,
man.
so I think if you're losing weapons, get a young weapon back who's cheap for 3 years. That's not a bad move. And then my draft pick here is it's the.
I love it.
It's the highest I've seen him go in draft
Wild.
picks.
I love it.
At pick number 11, they picked running back Ashton Genty, Boise State. We saw Christian McCaffrey. He might not ever walk again. He might be Lieutenant Dan at the end of the movie, like with metal legs. Jordan Mason's a free agent. He might be gone. And they make running backs work. Third round picks, fourth round picks, whatever. But this is a very talented running back, and I don't think you'll be this bad again for a while. They had a bad year last year, but normally they're in the AFC title game. They're in the playoffs. So pick number 11 is a very high pick. To be able to grab a guy like this for this 1 year where this running back is going to be like this, where running backs are having an emergence, and Genty on paper can do a lot of things that Christian McCaffrey can do in theory. Like, he's a good pass catcher. He's got the backfield. He's good at contact. So, yeah, Genty here at pick number 11 is not bad.
So, potentially here, I'm looking at the Christian McCaffrey contract. They signed him. He's under contract technically for 3 more years. Although, after this year, a $22 million dead cap hit, it's just an $8 and then a $5 million dead cap hit. So you definitely can get off the contract. I thought, how are you going to get Genty? Because he's going to make a decent amount of money as 11th overall pick.
Yeah.
And then the numbers going up with Saquon and whatnot, signing these bigger deals. And then also have Christian McCaffrey in this kind of contract. But with essentially 1 year left in the contract, not bad.
Yeah, you make it work. The cap is kind of a fake, scary thing. So you make it work for 1 year. The next year, if McCaffrey, obviously, if he comes back next year, then whatever, maybe you trade him.
My problem is not that it's not like he's a great player, and obviously they've had a great running game. Kyle Shanahan specifically can make any running back pretty good. They just need so many other things to me.
Yeah, but I think
a running back is is that really the way you needed to wait around and you could? It's a deep running back draft.
Yeah, but I think the importance of a running back we saw it this year. I think anytime you get he's the best running back in this draft class. I know there's been some buzz about some other guys, the NC State guy and a couple guys, but he's the best guy in this. He was the by far the best player in college football last year. I think
Travis Hunter easy.
Besides,
why didn't he win the Heisman?
Minus Travis Hunter. Minus Travis Hunter. Minus Travis Hunter. He's the best guy who played for Boise State. I think, and like I said, picking this high or this low, and that won't happen next year. They're not gonna be bad 2 years in a row. So I think anytime you could get a chance at a prospect like a blue chip prospect, you gotta take it.
Hey, how do you like JT on the?
Hey, as a Seahawks fan, in a running back loaded class, I'm scared of the Niners picking another running back. Just ruining my dreams.
Yeah, Genty's in that system with Shanahan and his creativity. Like in one offseason, they've gotten Michael Mayer and Genty, 2 weapons, cost controlled, with Purdy, who's making $55 million a year, $55 million a year. That's pretty nice land spot. This is what you have to do when you pay a quarterback. So that's kind of where I have them.
Maybe their best signing of the year was getting Salah back.
Yeah, that might be the best thing.
Huge.
There. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Yahoo Sports mock draft here. They obviously don't have Genty going there, but guys available around that pick. We were talking about Will Johnson, the young cornerback from Michigan, played really
nice.
well.
And maybe they don't sign Gilmore and they want to stuck in the corner.
Will Campbell, the tackle from LSU, very good. Mike Green, Derek Harmon, Malachi Starks, guy you like a lot.
That's my guy, yeah.
It's just you pass on a lot of talent at positions of need to have a running back with Christian McCaffrey on the roster. Personally, I love that.
Yeah, well, it's just a blue chip guy, best available, I think.
Yeah.
And with a team like this, this is a well-coached team. They'll coach players better than what they have to. I mean, their line has been average for the last 4 years. You just haven't noticed it because of Trent Williams and the coaching and the system. So, yeah, this is kind of – I just want weapons that are cheap and play well in the system.